Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here. If you don't know, my name is Josh. I'm on a mission to become financially independent, and this channel is all about real estate, personal finance while getting out of debt. And if you like any of that, please like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your mom, with your friends, with your neighbors, I don't know, whoever you want to share it with. I'm super close to 700 subscribers.
Let's all start clapping.
I might be in that range if you're watching this now. So thank you to all these 700 people that I don't really know. So please comment down below. I would love to say hello regardless. As I mentioned, one of my topics that I talk about is real estate, and people are super fascinated with real estate. I'm not sure why. If you think real estate and being a real estate broker is like an HGTV, Netflix type of show, I don't know. Yeah, then I have news for you. It's not the same thing. So I wanted to go back to my real estate beginning. I haven't done this for like 500 years or whatever, but I wanted to go back to my first deal and how traumatizing it was and how sad I cried. I wanted to go back and kind of like revisit to tell you guys how it actually worked out or didn't work out. We are going through the pandemic, people are losing jobs, and finally I get this deal. And it actually comes through Zillow. And I don't know if you guys know, but how Zillow works is that it automatically matches a buyer's agent to a listing. So sometimes when you're calling that listing, you're actually calling to a buyer's agent that doesn't have a lot of information on that listing. So we have to kind of like deep dig and see what's happening with this listing or not. So that happened. My boss sends that info to me. This person who lives in the US, I'm a real estate broker in Puerto Rico, and tells me that she loves this property, absolutely loves it. I ask her if she has ever been to that complex. She says no. I ask her if she wants to come and visit, and she says she can't. So property is available, and pretty much we just had a video to go off. But she tells me she wants to option it, to take it off the market and give that the money, that earnest money, the deposit money, so they can we can actually go further. I was super in shock that someone wanted to buy a property without ever seeing it. Especially this part of the island isn't very famous for being, it has somewhat of a reputation. And for someone who had never been to that type of complex, and this person wanted it as a rental type of thing, I was very shocked. We take the property off the market, it gets optioned, awesome. First thing that happens is that the person wanted to buy a property outside of her marriage, outside of the marriage. So in Puerto Rico, in order to do that, you have to you need to have prenuptial agreements. If you don't have it, you can get it after you get married. However, the process takes about, don't quote me on this, I believe it's 60 days after it's done in order to actually proceed, kind of like do this. They need to wait 60 days in order for the law to kind of like to become real. I'm not sure. If you're a lawyer, please comment. Anyways, so we had to wait. And we already had this house off the market. We had to wait 2 months. And I was doing everything possible in order to get this done. They tell me either way they're not gonna be in Puerto Rico. They're actually selling their house. They're not gonna move to Puerto Rico until actually 2 months or more, which it would work out. And the seller actually agreed to this, which is kind of crazy that you would agree to wait 2 months in order for this to happen. Side note, in Puerto Rico, usually a house, to close on a house, it might take 90 days or more. So that is kind of normal in that sense. But I was, one, so surprised this is happening, and secondly, I'm like, oh wow, everything's really flowing. No. About 2 months, a month and a half passes, goes through. One small minor detail that she failed to tell me, like this person failed to tell me, was that currently their work was full-time, but due to COVID reasons, they were now part-time. Basically, I believe the thing was like they were making the same amount of money, but work had changed and something along those lines was weird. Problem was, lender was not gonna fly that. Like, any lender was gonna be, wait, you went from full-time to part-time, that's half your salary. That's not gonna work out. I kept asking the lender, hey, what's happening with this person's situation? Because I didn't find out until later that this was this person's situation. Lender says it's like, oh no, they have extra income coming in from other sources, so we're gonna count that in. Every single week I call this lender and I ask, hey, is this going to fall through? What's happening? Every single week, lender was like, oh no, it's gonna go through. Then what do I tell the buyer in this case, who is my client? Oh no, it's gonna go through. Oh, everything's gonna be fine. Okay, cool. So what happened here is, once this person moves to Puerto Rico and looks at the apartment, goes like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
okay, actually, I don't like this area. Right. So here I am trying to save my ass, trying to save this deal. I bring out the potential in it, which is true. The apartment had a bunch of potential, and you don't really have to live there. You could just rent it out. And it would be good income coming in, like a really good income coming in. And we kind of go like, oh, okay. Families like, oh, we didn't love it, but I think we're like too deep in to actually back out. So didn't work out. In that sense, they were like, okay. Third month comes in, nothing's really happening. Now we have all the legal documents to go through this. Now we're all settled in that sense, or they are. And now I'm asking the lender, what's happening? Why are we taking so long? Now the owner of the broker, of the seller's broker company, is calling me, telling me, hey, why are we taking so long for this? And I'm like, talk to the lender. Like, I have no idea. Like, I've done my part. So 4 months, like the 4th month mark comes in, you guys, and now we have to keep renewing the contract, because contract was like 60 days. Then again, had to be renewed 90 days. And then again, had to renew for like another time. And it's a hassle. No one wants to go through that. The buyers are upset. The sellers are upset. We're just in this freaking mess right here. By the 4th month, the lender tells me, oh, I haven't received the information from the apartment complex. And how it works is that when you're selling an apartment at an apartment complex, the management has to give out some paperwork in order to proceed with the loan. It's a bunch of paperwork, but no one was like pursuing this very heavily to actually get the paperwork done. I find out, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna make it my mission, because we're so deep in, like, and you know the sad part about this, you guys, I was gonna make like $2,000 out of this deal. Like, it wasn't, I was like barely gonna be making money out of this. So I started calling the property management. One day goes by, no one answers. Second day goes by, no one answers. Third day goes by, no one answers. And when the third day goes by, I'm like, well, do I have to go there in person? But the problem is that it was a company, like a big company that administrates like different types of apartments. So I didn't really know where the office was. So I could go to the apartment complex that my buyers were trying to buy, but what were my chances, of actually finding someone there? Finally get someone. By the way, this is something the seller's broker should be doing, because that is part of their deal, that's part of their listing, or at least the lender. I mean, obviously the lender has to be doing this, but the lender was like, oh, well, yes, I called. Whoops, I called last week, couldn't find them. I left a message. You guys, I called 10 times a day. I would call 10 times a day just to find the right person that I needed to talk to. And they would not answer emails. So I gave up on that chance, because in Puerto Rico, no one answers an email. So I go literally hardcore on this. I tell the assistant or whoever I'm talking to by then that I actually found people, and telling me, oh, the person that you need is the only person that can give you that information, and they only work this amount of time and this amount of days, and you like, good luck if you can find them. Every single time I would talk to this person who was like the receptionist, and I would be like, hey, can you give this person my message? Because I've been going through this through days and no one has really answered me. Sure, I'll give a message. And that was it. Nothing would really actually happen. After almost 2 weeks of calling like 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day trying to find this person, I get him. I told him to get the paperwork. He gets the paperwork done. Then the lender says to me like, oh, we need another thing he hasn't sent out. So now I'm again like calling like at 6, 7 p.m. trying to find this person. We finally got the paperwork done, and I'm like literally trying to speed things up. And the lender says to me, oh, this case is not gonna get approved. Why? Because client doesn't have a full-time job. You guys, when I tell you I wanted to quit right there, I cried a lot of times, but I wanted to really quit at that moment. And he says to me, oh, this is not gonna get approved. After that, no emails answered, no phone calls answered. Every time I would try to talk to the underwriter, couldn't find this person. They did not want to give me the direct line of the underwriter. She would never reply. If I had to be like, hey, please reply to this. Please confirm you accepted this. Disappeared. It was torture for 4 months. 4 months. And the deal didn't go through because it happened what we all knew was gonna happen. It wasn't gonna go through. But the lender, since the lender was like literally telling me, oh, this is gonna go through for the longest time, that I believed him. But no, like I knew that it was gonna be an issue from the get-go, but it's really hard. This is my fiasco, my story so you can learn. So always double check your lenders. Always guide your clients to the people that you know are gonna work best, because sometimes clients are like sheep that are just following along and they might go through a cliff and God knows what's gonna happen next. And thank you for watching this completely. So until next one, I'll talk to you later. Bye.